The reunion was held in the old high school gym. Same faded banners, same smell of cheap cleaning spray and nostalgia. Everything looked smaller, but I felt bigger. I wore a black blazer, not to be bold, but to remind myself. I didn't come to fit, I came to speak. They didn't recognize me at first. Some smiled awkwardly, some tilted their heads, trying to place me. "Lena Carter," I said. Blank stares, then one voice. "Oh, the quiet one." I smiled. Exactly. That's how they remembered me, barely, but I didn't flinch. I walked to the podium, past tables decorated with centerpieces and name tags. The committee chair whispered, "Ready?" I nodded, and then I tapped the mic. The room went still. Eyes on me, and I began. "Thank you for having me. 10 years ago, I left this place with one label, most forgettable." There was nervous laughter. I didn't smile, because the punchline wasn't over yet, and they were about to feel it. "Wore that label like it was stitched to my skin," I said. "Not loud enough. Not cool enough. Not seen enough." Someone in the back cleared their throat. I kept going. "You didn't bully me. You didn't tease me. You did something worse. You overlooked me." Silence. I scanned the crowd. I watched you all build memories. While I built distance, I watched from the edges, from the corners of classrooms, from the sidelines of dances I never got asked to. Some shifted in their chairs. But here's the thing about being unseen. You start seeing everything. I paused. Hooked eyes, frozen faces, re-engagement time. If you're still here, still listening, thank you. Because this story isn't just mine. It might be yours too. I kept my voice calm. No one asked how I was doing. No one noticed when I ate lunch alone. But I noticed everything, every whisper, every laugh that didn't include me. Every time someone walked past me like I wasn't there. I could feel the weight settling in the room, and I let it. "I don't hate any of you," I continued. "This isn't a speech dipped in bitterness." They leaned in. "It's dipped in truth." I pulled out an old copy of the yearbook, held it up. Page 87, bottom corner. No quote, no message, just my name. I turned to the page, held it up. "You thought I didn't have anything to say. But really, you just never asked." More silence. I leaned closer to the mic. "Well, I've been writing ever since." I revealed a small book from my bag. My first, published memoir. Gasp's eyes widened. It's called The Quietest One in the Room. And just like that, they remembered. Your voices filled the hallways. Mine filled notebooks. Now mine fills pages. Shelves. And soon, maybe a screen. People were whispering now. Sometimes the most forgettable people turn out to be unforgettable. I let that sit in the air, and it hung heavy. A guy in the second row stood up. Brian Keller. He was prom. King football captain. Now apparently bald and in real estate. He cleared his throat. "Lena, I'm sorry." I looked at him. Nodded once, but didn't break my rhythm. "I appreciate that. But this isn't about apologies, it's about awareness." I took a breath. Some of you have children now. You might be raising someone like me, someone quiet, someone overlooked. Please, don't wait 10 years to notice them. More silence, re-engagement cue. If this is hitting you right now, don't look away. Lean in. Because someone out there still thinks they don't matter, and they need your voice, or your silence. I closed the yearbook, then smiled, genuinely. This room is full of people I once feared, but not anymore, because I finally realized, you didn't define me, you just delayed me. Some people started to tear up. Others looked at their hands, their phones, anywhere but at me. That's what truth does. It burns through comfort. But still, I wasn't cruel. This wasn't about payback. It was about clarity. "When you voted me most forgettable," I said, "you gave me something more powerful than attention. You gave me motivation. Motivation to build a life that didn't depend on being liked. Motivation to become the woman who writes her own narrative. and to show up today. Not to relive the pain, but to reclaim the space I was denied. You could hear the air change. Lena. Wasn't a name they'd forget again. I saw my old English teacher in the back, eyes glossy. She mouthed, "You were always brilliant." I nodded. That meant something. Because sometimes the right words come too late, but they still matter. A girl near the punch table whispered to her friend, "I voted for her." I didn't even remember. I heard it, and I forgave it. Because I wasn't that invisible girl anymore. I was the one holding the room in silence, and they were listening, truly listening. Maybe for the first time in their lives, and definitely for the first time in mine. After the speech, people came up to me in waves. They said sorry, they said thank you, they said they wished they'd known, and I believed them. Some of them, at least. But the truth is, I wasn't there for validation. I was there because I could. Finally stand tall in a place I once shrank. A girl who used to eat lunch in the library just stood at the podium and moved a room of grown adults to silence. That's what healing can do. It doesn't erase the past, it reclaims it. They asked if I'd come back for the next reunion, said maybe. But I wouldn't come for recognition. I'd come if someone else needed the reminder that invisibility is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your rewrite. I signed books, took pictures, laughed with people I used to hide from. And not once did I question if I belonged there, because I did. I always did. They just didn't see it before. Now they couldn't unsee it, and neither could I. On the ride home, I played the playlist I made in college. It was called For When. They finally see me. Back then, I didn't think I'd ever use it, but now, it felt like the soundtrack of survival. Each song reminded me of who I used to be and who I had become. Not louder, not cooler, just clear. A voice with purpose, a story with roots. I remembered the girl who once cried in the bathroom stall because no one saved her a seat, and I whispered to her through the mirror of memory, "They see you now." But more importantly, you see yourself. There's a power in speaking where you were once silenced. It heals generations of self-doubt. It reminds every quiet kid that they are not alone, that someone like them made it, that someone like them stood tall. And one day, it could be their turn. Their mic. Their truth. Their room that listens. And I'll be in the front row, nodding. Because I'll remember. I always will. If you made it this far into the story, thank you. Not everyone listens when the quiet ones speak. But you did, and that means everything. Because maybe this story wasn't just about Lena Carter. Maybe it's about you, or someone you love, someone you forgot, or someone you used to be, if that's the case. Here's what I'll say. Don't wait 10 years to use your voice. Don't wait for permission to matter. Stand up, speak out, even if your voice shakes, especially when it shakes, because truth doesn't need volume. It needs courage, and courage, my friend, doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "I was never forgettable. You just weren't paying attention." And if this story moved you, share it, because someone out there is still eating lunch alone, still believing their silence is permanent. Let them hear this. Let them know it's not over. It's just beginning. And their voice, it's coming next.